Calling this meeting to order at 5 o'clock. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. The open session part of the meeting tonight will begin around 7 o'clock. Public comment on closed session items. Before going into closed session, the board is available for public comment on closed session agenda items. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on closed session agenda items?
There is no public comment on closed session items.
All right. Seeing that there are none, the board will now adjourn into closed session. Good evening. My name is David T. Gracia, and this is the Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. Interpretation in Spanish is available for tonight's virtual meeting. Our interpreters are Isidra Mencos and Francisco Mesa. One of the interpreters will now translate the directions on our English channel so our Spanish-speaking families may hear the instructions.
Sí, buenas tardes. La interpretación en español está disponible para la reunión virtual de la Junta Directiva de esta noche. Para acceder a la interpretación desde una computadora, haga clic en el icono de interpretación en la parte inferior de su pantalla dentro de la aplicación Zoom. En un dispositivo móvil, haga clic en el botón en la parte inferior de la pantalla y elija la interpretación de idiomas dentro de la aplicación Zoom. Este es un canal independiente que le permitirá escuchar simultáneamente la traducción del inglés al español. Tenga en cuenta que los servicios de interpretación no están disponibles cuando se une a nuestra reunión por teléfono de casa. Gracias. Thank you. Back to the board.
All right. Thank you for that. Can we please start with an attendance roll call from Vera Morales, Executive Assistant?
Yes. Student Board Member McGrath?
Present.
Trustee Gracia?
Present.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Present.
Trustee Hart?
Present.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Present.
Quorum present. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Vera. And thank you all for joining us tonight for our NVUSD board meeting. E1, report on closed session. In Trustee Water and Riser's absence, I will make the report on closed session agenda items. We do have one thing to report. The board instructed the superintendent and legal counsel to settle the litigation in the stipulated amount. And that was unanimously decided by the board. So we'll now move on to E2, flag salute. And I will ask Student Board Member McGrath to lead us in the flag salute tonight. Okay, thank you. E3 is announcement. This meeting is live streamed and recorded via Zoom and will be archived on the district YouTube channel. For detailed review of any meeting agenda item, the archived video can be referenced on the district webpage at nvusd.org. The process for public comment can also be found on the district's webpage. Now on to item E4, approval of the agenda.
Move to approve. I'll second.
Okay, first by Trustee Hart, second by Trustee Jankowicz. Oh, yes. So I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to remove item E5.
Second.
Okay. So now we'll vote to approve as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. All right, E5 has been removed. We'll now move on to E6, recognition of visitors and employee organizations. Dr. Massetti, do we have any visitors in attendance?
Just looking online. Tonight, we have Troy Giddings, who is the Chief Negotiator for NVEA, who's joining us tonight in the boardroom. Mr. Giddings, would you like to come up and address the board? Welcome.
There we go. Trustee Garcia and trustees, thank you very much for letting me be here, and Rosanna for introducing me and everyone. First, I want to just comment on, because of all the fiscal responsibility that our district has taken and the actions and that we have done fiscally with Rob Mangwala and others, we appreciate the recognition of how hard we all work as a union and as teachers, and appreciate with much appreciation throughout the district for the raise that we were awarded this year. And it was well received, and there was no negative feedback, surprisingly. So, so that was good. And then just Deb and I continue to visit schools and talk to our teachers and principals and the administrative staff here at NVUSD. And I'm just glad we're part of a district that is non-adversarial, so we can get business done and not have to worry about conflict. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Dr. Massetti?
Nope, no one else is present this evening.
Okay. Now we'll move on to item F then, recognition of students of the month. F1, American Canyon High School. Will Principal Goff please present the students of the month for ACHS?
Mr. President, dear trustees, Dr. Massetti, it's my privilege to present our students of the month. I have two students that were nominated by the advisor, a counselor who actually spent all 4 years with them. And if you allow me, I can read a few words that he wrote about them.
Yes, okay? Please do.
For September, student Jonathan Chow, a senior. Mr. Lenning says his devotion to learning is an inspiration to many within our school community. His ability to remain committed to his education and personal goals while displaying tenacity and perseverance day in and day out says much about his character. During his time at American Canyon High School, Jonathan has not only achieved much, but has done so while meaningfully contributing and shaping our school's focus on academic excellence. I am honored to present him as our American Canyon High School Student of the Month for the month of September.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Chow, and I would like to thank everyone present for inviting me to this meeting. It is an absolute honor to represent ACHS as a Student of the Month for September. Throughout my high school career, I always believed that the environment of American Canyon High School had enabled me to achieve most of what I've done, academically and personally. Academically, I have to thank the fantastic teachers I've had, such as Mr. Brian Jennifer, my AP biology teacher, Mr. Ronald Ike, my AP calculus teacher, and Miss Sheila Loftus, my honors math 3 teacher. They have been excellent instructors who helped me reach the prestigious achievements such as scoring well on AP exams. Furthermore, I thank Mr. Ike and Miss Loftus for inspiring me and supporting me in what I see as my most outstanding academic achievements and projects, which are becoming president of Mu Alpha Theta and leading the 2023-2024 chapter of the Math Honor Society. I would also like to thank my counselor, Mr. Lennon. Not only did he personally nominate me for Student of the Month, but he has always supported my desire to learn beyond the classes available at ACHS through their aid in signing me up for dual enrollment classes, as well as helping me financially when they provided assistance for the cost of AP exams. Lastly, I am proud of the community at ACHS, specifically the music program. Led by Mr. Brendan Day, the music program, whether it was orchestra or performing band, provided almost a second home and family to me, as I could immerse myself in the instruments I truly enjoyed playing, surrounded by peers that I loved to perform with and needed to collaborate with to succeed. Because of this, we were able to win awards that I am most proud of achieving, such as the inner percussion group that I'm a part of, winning our Northern California Percussion Alliance championships in our division. Thinking about the future, once I graduate from high school, I want to pursue attending a University of California, such as Davis, San Diego, Berkeley, or Los Angeles, with a major in computer science. Personally, I believe that a lot of good can be achieved through furthering our understanding and advancement in technology, and specifically in the field of biomedicine, which is where I want to implement my eventual knowledge in computer science, so that I may eventually help advance the technology used in medical practice and be able to help many while doing so. To end, I would want to thank everyone here for the opportunity and honor to speak with everyone today, and congratulate my fellow Student of the Month, or October Student of the Month, Katie Marsden. Your achievements in academics, as well as your extracurriculars, such as the sports that you participate in, academic decathlon, and the theater program in our school, have always really impressed me, and your upbeat and outgoing personality throughout it all also inspires me very well. Thank you.
I also would like to share what the counselor, Mr. Lenning, said about Catherine, even though Jonathan did an amazing job. Mr. Lenning says Catherine is a standout student who has achieved much during her high school years. Katie's ambition, dedication, and adaptability are just a few of the many qualities that have shined through her school years. She presents herself as an eager learner, and though gifted, has a quiet sense of humility in her work ethic. Beyond her ability to excel in academics, Katie has shown to be a person of high character who is wise beyond her years, and a mature leader who is helpful, friendly, and involved with many aspects of our campus culture. She is a pleasure to have in our senior class of 2024, and I'm honored to nominate her, and I'm honored to present her to you.
Hello, everybody. I would like to thank the superintendent and the school board members here tonight, in addition to all the ACHS staff and students who have come out here. And before I begin, I would like to say congratulations to Jonathan. He is a very good student, and I remember my sophomore year in Honors Math 3, I really looked up to him, and sometimes he would help me with like math if I didn't understand it and stuff. So I've always really admired his academic excellence, especially in math and science. I would also like to say a special thank you to Mr. Lenning, my counselor, for nominating me. He came in during our junior year and since then has been extremely helpful and diligent in making sure that my class is prepared for the next chapter of our lives. As I go on to the next chapter of my life, I find myself thinking more on what has led to this point. Both my parents are teachers. Whether it was my mom going to the store on weekends to buy arts and crafts supplies for her elementary schoolers and bringing home these huge plastic containers full of packets to be graded over spring break, or my father, who has always attended conferences and meetings to learn about new, more innovative ways of teaching economics and history, their kindness, generosity, and genuine love of learning will be something I aspire to have in my life. I'm incredibly grateful to all the teachers I have here at ACHS, and each and every single one of them has had a positive impact on me, especially Ms. Gonzalez, the academic decathlon club advisor, and my AP calculus teacher who's here tonight. I think when I go to school and I finally figure out a math problem, take a bow at the end of a show in theater, receive a medal in academic decathlon, or score a goal in water polo and see all the hours I put into training come true, I truly understand what my parents have been telling me since I was little, that learning never truly ends. I used to think that accomplishing something meant that you'd already learned it. But when I accomplish something, I don't feel satisfied. Instead, I want to open the guide right back up and keep reading, jump into the pool and keep swimming. That's because I don't do things to accomplish them. I do them because I love the process of accomplishing them, the sense of discovery, of wonder. That's the magic of both learning and teaching. Over the summer, I worked with my mom to lead a summer school enrichment program with elementary schoolers, and I was blown away by their enthusiasm and by the creativity of their designs. I got to see the wonder in their eyes when their robot lit up with colors. I realized that they know things that I didn't know at their age. During my last year at ACHS, I will continue to learn, but I have also been given the opportunity to teach and give back. I can say with certainty that 4 years from now, another kid will be in this position and will have accomplished something that I don't even dream is possible now. I'm so honored to be a part of that. Thank you so much. And lastly, I would like to thank the community at ACHS. My favorite memories aren't what we did, but how we did it. The spirit we had and all the friendships we made, I truly believe that those little moments will be what I remember about American Canyon High School.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Now we'll have item F2, Vintage High School. Will Principal Hutchinson please present the Students of the Month for Vintage High School?
Good evening, Dr. Musetti and Board of Trustees. Thank you for this opportunity to recognize our Vintage High School students. This evening, I'm proud to introduce two seniors, Sarah Tenbrook and Sean Johnson. Sarah Tenbrook is a Vintage High School senior. She is an extraordinary student and she's in the top 5% of her class. Over the last 4 years, she's taken numerous honors and advanced placement courses, and she has excelled in all areas, but she has been especially interested in her math and French classes. She's also been on the tennis team all 4 years at Vintage High School as a captain this year, playing second singles, and has won most of her matches so far. After Vintage High, Sarah is very interested in going to college in San Diego and pursuing a degree in STEM. And Sarah is actually playing a tennis match this evening and isn't able to participate in our live meeting. So we made a video with the help of our digital multimedia production students and teachers where she can accept this award.
Good evening, my name is Sierra Tenbrook, and I would like to thank Dr. Musetti and the school board for acknowledging me as School Board Student of the Month. I apologize that unfortunately I'm not able to attend this meeting as I'm currently playing an away tennis match. I would like to thank all the staff and teachers that have worked for all the schools I've attended, but tonight I'd like to highlight two of my favorite teachers at Vintage High School, Madam Aday and Mr. Merkman. Starting with Madam Aday, I'd like to thank her for inspiring me and introducing me to a love of the French language. I'm currently the Vice President of the French Club and hoping to continue learning French beyond high school, eventually to the fluent level. Next, I would like to thank Mr. Merkner for magnifying my love for math. Math has always been my favorite subject, but Mr. Merkner's class has been vital in continuing that. As I move forward in life, I know that this class will have set me up for studying math in college and a career in STEM. My academic and extracurricular experiences at Vintage High have provided great opportunities and allowed me to gain experience, skills, and memories that I will take with me after graduation to college and beyond. Lastly, I'd like to thank my family, friends, and tennis team for all the love and support I've received over the years. Thank you again.
Congratulations, Sierra. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Sean Johnson. Sean is a Vintage High School senior who is hardworking, kind, and determined. And during the past 4 years, Sean has also taken many honors and advanced placement courses and has excelled in all of these and is also in the top 5% of his class. In addition, while a student at Vintage High School, he's been part of the choir program, which he has truly enjoyed. A memory that stands out for Sean in choir was going to Disneyland last year and performing there with the choir. Outside of school, Sean has participated in the Napa Valley swim team throughout high school. Sean is very interested in astrophysics and was very inspired last year when Dr. Kate Rubens visited Vintage High School. That was a highlight. And he plans to major in astrophysics in college. And it's a pleasure to introduce him and present him this evening as our Vintage High School Student of the Month. Congratulations, Sean.
Thank you, Mrs. Hutchinson. Thank you very much to Dr. Musetti and the school board for recognizing me as one of this month's Students of the Month. It's an honor to be acknowledged in this way, and I really appreciate the gesture. I'd like to begin by saying thank you to a few staff members at Vintage High School for their roles in my growth as both a student and as a person over the last several years. Firstly, to Mrs. Lamont, who I knew first as a friend of a friend and next as a teacher and guide. I will never forget how you made me feel welcome at Vintage. I didn't return to school in person during the pandemic until the second semester of my freshman year, and English class with you helped me greatly in terms of feeling like I belonged. The atmosphere you managed to create, despite all of the challenging restrictions we all faced, was warm and inviting, and it continues to be as such during break and lunch to this day. I consider myself lucky to have had you as a teacher, not just once, but twice. To Mr. Brochard, the smartest person I know, AP Physics with you opened doors for me that I didn't even know existed. In your class, I fully discovered my love for math and science, and your teaching played a large part in that. The foundation you gave me in physics is what has inspired me to pursue astrophysics as a career. Even though studying boxes sliding down ramps is a little bit different than studying black holes, it's the desire you gave me to know how things work that is really driving me. So thank you for not just teaching me about physics, but also about myself. To Mrs. Amendola, master pianist, vocal music workshop has been a lot of fun this year, even though it's at 7:30 in the morning. I love our 5th period chats about anything and everything, especially UC Berkeley. And your insight on my first choice of colleges has been very valuable, and I'm very thankful for it. I look forward to learning more music and music theory this year during early flight. And thank you for all you do in making choir as fun and as welcoming as possible for all people, regardless of their musical or personal backgrounds. To Mr. Teeters, who has known me for my entire life, words really can't express how grateful I am to you, and also to Mrs. Amendola for what you have created with choir. My best memories from high school are of concerts and caroling, and I know I will be very sad to leave those things behind at the end of this year. So thank you for always being so kind and so understanding, not just to me, but to everyone. And what you put out into the world is really rare, and it's really magical, and I know it'll always stay with me. Lastly, to Mrs. Johnson, my class's counselor, also known as Mom, thank you for being the best mom a son could ask for. And in my future, I hope to find myself as the kind of person you have been: compassionate, empathetic, gracious, loving, and more. I love you, Mom. In conclusion, I owe a lot to Vintage High School for how it has treated me. And as I move towards college and adulthood, I know that the lessons I've learned here will serve me well. So once again, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
David, can I just say something quickly?
Sure.
I want to thank you for making the trek up to the actual boardroom to receive these accolades. It is really nice to actually see students, and I really wanted to express my appreciation for you being here in person, and congratulations to you both.
Okay, we'll move on now to public comment on non-agenda items. In Trustee Water and Riser's absence, I will report on if we received any public comment on non-agenda items via email. No public comment on non-agenda items were submitted via email before 8 a.m. this morning. In accordance with our bylaws, I want to remind the public that the board shall limit the total amount of time to public input to 20 minutes. I will ask for a show of hands online to see how many people are interested in making public comment on non-agenda items. We may adjust the length of time you're allowed to speak based on the number of people interested in public comment tonight, in order to give as many people as possible an opportunity to speak in the time allotted. Please raise your hand now if you are interested in making a public comment on non-agenda items. I have received no speaker cards here in the boardroom, so how many folks have just raised their hand?
We have one.
All right. Mr. Michaels, can you facilitate public comment then for the one person who has raised their hand?
Yes, of course. That person just lowered their hand. Here's.
Okay. I guess then we'll move on. Item H, reports. Item H1, Board of Education and Student Board Representative. Would Student Board Member McGrath like to start?
Absolutely, thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you all again. I know the Students of the Month just left, but I'm gonna say congratulations to them in case they rewatch the recording. Your guys' speech was great. I'm really happy that you guys shouted each other out. That was really special. Since our last meeting, it's been a busy 2 weeks for students. As a senior, we're all in the midst of college applications. and that's definitely a stressful thing to attack. But it's very fortunate that a lot of the high schools are offering different opportunities to support the students. There's different like workshops for the students to work on their essays, or just the general process, which is I think is very beneficial. Overall, there's been solid communication between the students and staff on general information about applications. It is always helpful to have guidance. I think it's also equally helpful to have different opportunities for students to find alternate routes after high school, as Mr. Pearson has shared in previous board meetings. Also in the world of students, and all of our fall sports are well into our VVAL competition. Personally, I run cross country, and we had our first VVAL meet yesterday here in Alston Park. It was really hot and dusty, so that wasn't fun, but it was really nice to have all the VVAL schools out there. And that's always great because the amount of people that show up to support the runners, it makes it really fun. It's a great environment. Additionally, our Napa High Choir hosted an event this past Sunday called Singing in the Spotlight, where all evening there were performances from all the levels of choir, and even some solo performers. I spoke to a choir student who performed, and they said that it was a great experience. There was a bunch of supporters and food for everyone to eat. And they even spoke with an alumni that told them that it was the best event that it had been in years. Events like these are really important to have in schools because they're vital to community building. And it is key that we continue to promote events like these so that students feel more connected to their schools. Lastly, I just wanted to highlight something that we did at Napa High recently that I thought was really special, and that should be done more often. We did a Bring Your Parent to Lunch Day. So at lunch on a Friday, we had picnic blankets set out in our quad. There's music playing, and all of lunch, our quad was filled with students and parents sitting and having lunch. And my mom came, and I sat with her and my friends and their parents. And it was a really good experience. There were, it was filled. All of the grass area, there's picnic blankets, and everyone was there, and there was administrators and teachers walking around. And I just thought that was really special. Just wanted to share that. So with that, I conclude my report. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Trustee Gonzalez-Myers.
Every night that we have our school board meetings, the Student of the Month presentations always are really, really special to us. But I agree with Trustee Jankowicz that it's a different feeling when you have them here, but then it was really also cool to see a video. I mean, there's just so many ways to have our students be celebrated. And I just appreciated that tonight. Like, it was like in person, a video, or chat. I mean, it's just amazing the variety of opportunities that just this one little example can demonstrate of our accessibility to come and share into our boardroom. So just really, that was just really, felt pretty special tonight. That being said, I agree with our student board member. It's been a busy couple of weeks. It went by quite fast. Just a couple of things that I wanted to highlight. Trustee Water and I and Dr. Massetti, along with an invitation with Supervisor Gallagher, invited us to tour a facility of the Northern California Carpenters Apprenticeship site in Fairfield. That was just an amazing place to visit. It really is a school that they have for really young, it spans from young adults to adults, but interested in the field of carpentry and just understanding the different layers that that involves. It made me continue to appreciate even furthermore Mr. Pearson and the maintenance and operations of all the things that go on in a facility. And this was just one particular area, not landscape or this is just no AC, just some particular area, but it was just a really beautiful institution to see this facility and see it in action. I mean, it was really walking into a school. It really was. So these apprenticeships, there's just so much potential there. And it just made me think of our CTE. It made me think of the internships that we've been holding here, and really made me just, again, really work on that message that a four-year university and a career path in CTE, it's just like just as important and equally important. And so I just appreciated that. And there's nothing like walking through a site and seeing that happen. The day after that, then it was our DEI, our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Steering Committee, continuing the path of our internal training with all of various folks, various people from our leadership teams to really continue to dive into that work. And we had a really good presentation from Assistant Superintendent Andrew Jennings and her team in regards to the work that we've been doing here and implementation of that work. Because you can have the policy, you can have the training, but where's the implementation? And so that was really great to see that day. So thank you, I appreciate that very much. And it took a little time too to start preparing for an invitation of a presentation that we were invited to participate at the California Latino School Board Association. They have their annual conference, and so that is to be determined as to that presentation, but just gearing up to getting ready to just participate in that space and represent NVUSD. So just continuing to feel really proud of the work that we're doing, and it's just a month in, and I feel like we've been already a year in. So just keep up the good work, everyone. And so that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Hart?
All right. So starting off here back on September 15th, myself and Trustee Water were able to visit Shear Elementary School, which was a really special moment for me. 4-year-old Juliana Villegas first walked on to Shear Elementary School in 1980. And I will say that a lot of things have changed and a lot of things have not on that campus. One of the great things that Principal Gardner was able to share with us in our brief visit was the Family Resource Center that's co-located there on their campus, and as well as their middle school program that they've recently expanded to be TK now all the way through 8th grade. It was interesting to see how they had physically separated those older grades and put them on a separate bell schedule to kind of create a unique kind of an environment for those older kids. And I see great things coming from that in the future. So I think that was really cool and unique to see there. Later on that afternoon, I was able to meet with Assistant Superintendent of Instructional Services, Pat Andrew Jennings, and Director of Intervention and Prevention, Sarah Knox. We had a really robust conversation about TK5 mental health services, and they did a really great job of getting me up to speed on what we are currently doing in terms of supporting those children in those grades. On the 18th, we had a Special Education Community Advisory Committee meeting, which I'll report on in more detail in a few minutes here. On the 19th, we had a Facilities and Technology Committee meeting. On the 26th, I was able to attend at Pueblo Vista Elementary. We have a PE teacher this year who is doing segments at each of the elementary schools. I believe they said about 4 or 5 weeks where they teach the kids some cultural dances. So they had a performance there at Pueblo Vista, and it was great and very cute and entertaining. So that was a pretty cool thing to see, and that'll be coming around to the other elementary schools in our district as well. On the 26th in the evening, I attended the all-county board meeting where we discussed property taxes for school districts and how our school districts are funded, which was very informative as well to see all the kind of shell game behind school finances in the state. And then last night on the 27th, I attended the California School Board Association Roadshow out at American Canyon High School, which was also very informative and gave us the opportunity to meet some folks from other districts from the area that came out as well. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Jankowicz.
Mine goes back a little further. I was not here at the last board meeting, but I attended the EdSource Chronic Absenteeism webinar, which was really interesting, and we are not the only district that struggles with some absenteeism. I attended a strategic visioning session, and the student strategic visioning session attended the MCOE board meeting, the finance board advisory meeting. I met with Tracy Crumpen, who works with State Assembly member Cecilia Aguilar Curry. I attended the facilities and technology board advisory meeting with some of my peers. President Grassi and I attended the Town of Yountville Board Advisory meeting. I met with Liz Marks of Mentis to discuss their commitment to mental health, their vision for the future of Mentis, and the expansion of their services with the acquisition of their potential acquisition of their new site. I too attended the all-county board meeting discussing property tax assessment for school district with a focus on LCFF funding and the potential financial cliff that looms, and the lack of stable state funding, declining enrollment, ERAF and its potential consequences, as well as SRAF, all being contributors. Bob Minahan, and Napa's treasurer tax collector, was very clear in his presentation. Funding for LCFF schools in a declining enrollment environment is precarious. I too attended the CSBA Roadshow. Vernon Billy, the CEO of CSBA, the California State Board Association, brought his team to discuss key legislative issues, advocacy, Brown Act, and governance strategies. And Keith Bray, their chief legal counsel, also discussed the MyCommerce issue and the importance of the statewide implications and the critical elements of AB 1505. And this afternoon, I listened to the CSBA webinar on AB 1078, which addresses legislation that bans book bans and instructional material censorship in schools. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. On the 15th, I attended the CSBA Legislative Action Meeting. Also on the 15th, the Heritage versus Vintage High School football game. And then on the 19th, I had a great visit to New Technology High School, where I spoke with Principal Dev and got to see some of the students in action there. Also on the 19th, I went to the American Canyon Middle School 25th anniversary celebration. And then on the 21st, I attended the MyCommerce Middle School board meeting. And then on the 22nd, the Cowell Grant Luncheon at Napa High School with Trustee Water. And then also on the 22nd, the ACHS versus Vintage High School football game. And then on the 26th, I had a tour of Alta Heights, where I had a nice visit with Principal Ward, and we got to see some of the early reading intervention in progress, so that was exciting. And then also on the 26th, I had a meeting with the town of Yountville, and then also on the 26th, there was the all-county board meeting regarding property taxes, where the county reiterated that we need to be very careful as NVUSD is facing a fiscal cliff. And then on the 27th, the CSBA Roadshow at American Canyon High School, which was nice to see all of the CSBA leadership come and make a presentation. We had an opportunity to interact with them. And then today I met with the new PACER from CSBA Region 3. We've been waiting for a PACER to be appointed to represent our region, and we now have one, and I'm kind of excited to begin to work with him on our advocacy efforts. And that concludes my report. Okay, we'll now move on to item H2, Board Representative Reports. H2A, Special Education Community Advisory Committee.
All right, so we had our first meeting of this school year back on the 18th. We have a new SELPA director, so Kelsey Petahome, I hope I didn't butcher her name, introduced herself and actually ran the meeting. We did a quick overview of what the purpose of the CAC is, which is three-pronged. The first one being collaborative, that is designed to be a dynamic collaborative partnership of educators, parents, and community members. Informed, that we are to be a resource to others, to learn together, and to seek out and provide educational opportunities to parents and guardians. And then the last being involved, supporting our students, special education community, school districts, and the SELPA overall. We talked about our goals for the CAC for this 23-24 school year, which are to increase membership and partnerships, provide educational opportunities, and to provide social connections and support. There was a presentation by Lisa Colarusso from Parents Can, which is a great organization here in town, which they covered a few of the things that their organization offers to the community, including developmental screenings, P parenting classes, educational assistance for families that have children that have needs such as 504s and IEPs. They also have a number of support groups, including an autism support group, Down syndrome, challenging behaviors, project leadership, and family wellness, which are all held in both English and Spanish, which I thought was great and very well needed in our community. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. H2B, City of American Canyon, they have not met. H2C, City of Napa Liaison Representatives.
We have not met.
Okay. And then H2D, the Town of Yountville Liaison Representatives. We did have a meeting. This was our first meeting in over a year. It was a great opportunity to get to know the new representatives from Yountville and start to build a relationship with the town. They've had a lot of turnover up there, all new city council members and a new town manager. So it was a great first meeting to make that start of connections. And that concludes my report. We'll now move on to H3, Superintendent and Executive Staff.
Thank you, President Gracia. Good evening, NVUSD trustees, staff, and community. It is really hard to believe that it's the end of September and that we're already several weeks into the 23-24 school year. The last couple of weeks of September have been really busy. First, I'd like to thank Trustee Gonzalez Mares and Julie Bordes from our communications team, who joined me on Monday, September 18th at the Napa County Board of Supervisors chambers, where we had the opportunity to present to the county's Language Access Ad Hoc Committee with Supervisor Pedroza and Supervisor Gallagher and several county staff. The county is seeking to improve their language access to our culturally and linguistically diverse communities across the valley. And NVUSD was upheld as a model, and they wanted to learn about our 5-year journey as to how we've dramatically improved our interpretation and translation services, all of our language access services, so that the services that we do provide to our linguistically diverse community, our multilingual population in the district, are consistent and high quality. So it was an honor, and thank you for the invitation. It was also wonderful, as Trustee Gonzalez Mares just described in her report, to spend more time the next day with Supervisor Gallagher, alongside, again, Trustees Water and Gonzalez Mares at the NorCal Carpenters Training Facility, where we learned about the apprenticeship programs. This trip could not have come at a better time, as our district focuses on annual board priority number 4, innovation and alignment of career readiness programs, where we are currently evaluating and redesigning our approach to career technical education and work-based learning experiences for our students. So it was a great learning opportunity to think about how we might be able to incorporate partnership with them as we do this improvement work around career readiness. Last week, I had the great pleasure of also participating in an official NOSH taste testing event with our food services department leadership, including Director Kristen Tekel and Mohammed Yassin, who worked hard over the last several months to perfect a Cuban-style arroz con pollo recipe from my family that I gave them last year. I was joined by Principal Alejandra Uribe and about 10 middle school students at Unidos. As your Cuban superintendent, I can officially confirm that the dish was authentic, healthy, and absolutely delicious. I had fun sending the photos to family in both Miami and Havana. I also want to thank all of the parent representatives from across our elementary, middle, and high school sites that committed to serving on the superintendent's parent advisory committee this school year. We meet one Monday a month for 2 hours from 6 to 8 p.m. We had our first meeting on Monday, September the 18th, and we had most of our schools represented, so that was exciting. I always look forward to those monthly meetings with parent representatives across the district throughout the school year. They're tremendous spaces of learning, constructive feedback, and collaboration. So thank you to the parents willing to invest that time. Additionally, I wanted to let the community know, and I'm following here Trustee Gonzalez Mares, who actually serves on the steering committee, that we did, again, like she said, launched our work with our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Steering Committee. We're sticking in there diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. For the 23-24 school year on Wednesday, September the 20th. We had a successful first meeting, well attended by the participants on the committee, where we discussed some of the curricular improvements that we've made that align with the principles articulated in our board adopted DEI plan. So thank you to Assistant Superintendent Andrew Jennings and her team for all of their hard work in that area over the last couple years. And we also engaged this committee in some activities where they got to weigh in on our strategic visioning and planning efforts that are taking place across the district. And speaking of strategic visioning and planning, at our last meeting, several of the board members shared their excitement for the Student Summit event that we kicked off our planning process with approximately 300 students from across all of our secondary schools at Napa Valley College. We have a video that showcases the excitement and joy from that event. So I'm going to ask our technology team online if you can launch the video so we can share it with the board and the community this evening.
Our Student Summit welcomed approximately 30 students from every TK8 middle and high school here in Napa Valley Unified School District. We invited our students to reimagine what their school experience could look like. They're reimagining their future. Come check it out.
Today we launched our Student Summit. It was an amazing opportunity for students to provide input on what our school should look like in the future. They were excited and eager to share their ideas about what schools in the future should be to prepare them for their life after high school graduation.
I think it's important for students to have a voice, how they want to be educated as, what stuff can adults, teachers, staff members can improve to help students perform better, meet certain requirements, graduate.
So I think having student feedback from current students helps a lot, because then we know what problems are coming into school and what problems are coming out of school and how to deal with those things.
When people feel heard, they want to respect the teacher more.
I'm excited to see what happens next, especially since my sister is coming into freshman year next year, and I'm excited to see how everything might change because of what we did today.
What excites me the most is the energy and the thought, care that the students brought to their ideas they shared with us today. I'm excited to hear from students because they are the ones that we're creating the space for, and we need their help in doing this. That's why it was so important to launch our strategic visioning and planning with the Student Summit. Students' voices need to be centered in the work that we do.
We discussed what we need to embrace as students, and as well the skills and things that adults in our community have to embrace to help us students at the district.
I think the community needs to know that changes are being made and that everyone has the opportunity to have a voice in these conferences and in these summits, that no one should ever feel like they need to be quiet about something, and students should never accept discomfort in these areas, and that if you have something to say, then you should say it.
Go NVUSD!
Great, so thank you. I hope that featured the joy and the engagement that we had with our young people that day. Oh, like background music there. Ooh, Canada. Are we picking next vacation stops? I just wanted to let everyone know that on that day, we asked the students that were participating if any of them were interested in continuing participating in the ongoing journey and development of the strategic vision and plan. And we had dozens and dozens of students sign up and say that they were interested. So we've extended invitations to approximately 50 students to participate in our guiding coalition. We know not all of them will be able to commit because the guiding coalition sessions are Friday evenings and all day Saturdays. And so we extended a lot of invitations knowing that many of the students will probably have commitments. But we are hopeful in the next few days, we are finalizing that list, and we're excited that we're going to have students continuing to be involved in the process as it unfolds. So it's really, really exciting. All right, with that, we're going to hear from the assistant superintendents who are going to report out on the work that's happening in their respective divisions. And I'll start off with Assistant Superintendent Dana Page, who oversees the Human Resources Division.
Thank you. Good evening, President Gracia, Board of Trustees, Dr. Massetti, and Student Board Representative McGrath. Tonight, I'm happy to highlight our new employee fitness challenge called Walktober, presented along with North Bay School Insurance Authority. This is the autumn season follow-up to the Spring in Motion Challenge, which the NVUSD won last April. Walktober runs in a similar way. Employees and their family members can register for free and can track their exercise, whether it's walking, running, biking, dancing, there's even gardening. So you can track it individually or part of a team and earn daily points. The goal is 6,000 steps per day. Individuals who meet the daily step goals are all entered into a drawing for a gift card. In addition, the district team that earns the highest number of points, as well as the district that registers the largest number of participants, can win a perpetual trophy. Registration is now open and individual teams have until October 10th to sign up. And the NVUSD looks forward to adding a second trophy to the case outside in the boardroom there. If you've seen it, it looks like a tennis shoe, but it's really a trophy. In addition, we're anticipating our first NVUSD classified job fair on October 11th in Napa at the district office and October 18th in American Canyon High School. Both fairs will be from 3:30 to 6. At each fair, we will have representatives from our special education, food services, custodial, and transportation departments to answer questions about opportunities in their departments. There will also be Human Resources headquarters tent where visitors can receive computer assistance with the online application process, drop off a resume, and receive a ticket to be entered into a prize drawing. Everyone's welcome. Current employees and community members alike are encouraged to come and check it out. Finally, in an effort to assist our employees in the required tuberculosis screening requirement, which needs to be updated regularly, HR is hosting 2 drive-through screening clinics, one on October 4th and the other on November 1st. Both clinics will be held from 11 to 5 in the district parking lot, the district office parking lot. We anticipate serving close to 500 employees through this clinic. There are other ways to get screened if needed. Please contact Cheryl Anderson for more information. And while I have a moment, I would like to thank Cheryl for all of her efforts in organizing this event to make this requirement a little more convenient for everybody. And thank you. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Page. And next we'll hear from Assistant Superintendent Pat Andrew Jennings, who oversees the Instructional Services Division.
Good evening, President Gracia, Board Trustees, Dr. Massetti, Student Board Representative McGrath, and the NVUSD community. Tonight, I am excited to share news that we received from the U.S. Department of Education today. NVUSD was awarded a $9.8 million magnet school grant for Shear and McPherson Elementary Schools. This investment in the school communities of Shear and McPherson will transform the student learning experiences at both of these school sites. More information will be provided to the school board in the coming weeks. I'd like to thank Director Matt Manning and Janine Burt, NVUSD's coordinator of magnet programming, for developing the grant application alongside the McPherson and Shear staff. We are eager to begin the work of creating these 2 new magnet schools. So we're really excited about that. This is going to be transformative. Also on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, I, along with Elementary Director Matt Manning and the principals and teaching teams from Snow and Phillips, attended the first Pre-K3 Coherence Collaborative convening of the year in Elk Grove with districts from throughout California. Our engagement with the P3 Coherence Collaborative, facilitated by California Education Partners, supports annual board priority number 1, focused on improving academic achievement in math. The teacher leaders present from Snow and Phillips collaborated to develop a professional learning session that they will co-lead with their staffs in October, or to their staffs in October and November. Also, our elementary academic specialists provided a full-day training in our math curriculum bridges for our new elementary teachers this week to ensure that they are prepared and supported for math instruction. At the secondary level, American Canyon, Napa, New Tech, and Vintage High School students attended the 49th annual Napa Valley College Transfer Day earlier this month. Over 400 students participated in the event, which hosted 80 universities who shared about post-secondary opportunities. Students were able to learn about Napa Valley College and tour the campus. Additionally, students had the opportunity to participate in the mini career fair, where they learned about local employment, including NVUSD transportation. I'm sure Assistant Superintendent Pearson is happy about that. Thank you to Napa Valley College for partnering with NVUSD and providing students access to college and career readiness. Thank you. That concludes my report. Yeah, followed 9.1 million.
And next we'll have Assistant Superintendent Mike Pearson, who oversees operational services.
Sandra Jennings just asked me to follow $9.1 million. I'm not sure I can follow $9.1 million, but let's talk about that. Good evening, President Gracia, NVUSD Board of Education trustees, Dr. Musetti, and Student Board Representative Finn McGrath, and members of the community. Always a pleasure to provide you with an update on operational services. Dr. Musetti took a little bit of my thunder away, but tonight I would like to acknowledge Muhammad Yassin and Kristen Tikale in Food Services. As most of you know, Ms. Tikale is the Director of Food Services in the district. However, most of you probably don't know Mr. Yassin. Muhammad is the Culinary Operations Specialist for the Food Service Department, and he works primarily in the central kitchen, curating many of the delicious entrees served from our NOSH program, and this is his second year with NVUSD. About 8 months ago, Ms. Tikale tasked Muhammad to come up with the arroz con pollo entree that Ms. Tikale had learned about this, and she had learned about this entree when she was interviewing for her current position. I don't know if you remember, Dr. Musetti, but you had mentioned something about this being one of your favorite comforting meals or something to that effect, and she remembered that from your interview and just had this dream to do something like this for you. So last Thursday, as Dr. Musetti mentioned, on the 21st was the unveiling of Muhammad's arroz con pollo rendition. At a taste testing event held at Unidos Middle School, Dr. Musetti, Principal Alejandro Uribe, Assistant Principal Bobby Ruth, and 10 students from Unidos participated in sampling Muhammad's arroz con pollo recipe. Feedback during the taste test event was overwhelmingly positive. In fact, many students asked for a second helping, and Dr. Musetti was particularly pleased. And I do have to say, Muhammad was incredibly nervous. He came out to give his little speech, and then when he was done with his little speech, he was reading like this. He just had to wipe his brow because he was sweating profusely, but he got through it, which is the good thing. I want to thank Muhammad for his hard work, dedication, and leadership to come up with his recipe. I don't know if many people would come up with a recipe for a superintendent, but Muhammad did do that. Arroz con pollo will be introduced sometime during the month of December. I'll make sure all of you know, and there'll be a reference to Dr. Musetti. Thank you, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Pearson. That was so great. And next, last but not least, we have Assistant Superintendent Rob Manguala, who oversees business services.
It's hard to follow all of that comedy. I'll just say so.
See what you can do, business.
CBO will be very serious tonight, so I'll be serious when I'm here. So, the technology department continues to work incredibly hard supporting our staff with everything technology in Napa Unified. Since the start of the school year, our team has closed 2,000 work orders and repaired over 500 Chromebooks, allowing previously unusable devices to return to circulation and increasing the efficiency of our one-to-one student device program. As the school year progresses, we will continue to focus our efforts to improve our network and cybersecurity infrastructure, implementing several new technologies and systems that help to make our every network interaction for our users safer and more secure. Our EdTech manager has been busy in classrooms showing teachers and students how to use some of our district-wide EdTech tools. We have also been providing school sites trainings on Securely Classroom, a classroom management tool that helps teachers engage all students and keep them focused on learning. Make sure to look for our PD sessions at PD Day to learn more. And for enrollment, families are continue to enroll for the 23-24 school year. Typically, our enrollment will increase slightly from the beginning of the school year to CalPADS Day, which is next Wednesday, and then start a decline for the year. Enrollment is already busy getting ready for the 24-25 school year. New student registration for 24-25 will begin on October 15th, which is right around the corner. Open enrollment will also start on October 15th and will close on November 30th. To prepare for both of these events, the enrollment team will lead a session at the October 13th PD Day to train sites. The data and assessment team is reviewing and analyzing STAR data from the fall screening window and will be sharing the results at the November board meeting. We are also awaiting the official spring CASP 2023 CASP results from the state and look forward to sharing those as well when they come in. The team continues to monitor and support data confirmation completion, ongoing initial LPAC testing, and providing support to teachers in the field with digital learning tools. The business office is working on the 22-23 annual audit. Last week, the auditors were on site to begin their preliminary review on site. And this concludes my report.
Great, thank you, President Gracia. That concludes the executive team's reports this evening.
Thank you. All right, we will now move on to item I, approval of the consent agenda. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on roll call vote unless discussion of item or items is requested by a board member. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
First by Trustee Hart, second by Trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, is there any public comment on the slate of items here?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay. Ms. Morales, can we please have a roll call vote?
Yes, Student Board Member McGrath,
Aye.
Trustee Gracia,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Hart,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, on to item J, presentation and discussion items. Surprise, there are none. Moving on to item K, action items, general services, K1A, adoption of California School Board Association recommended policy updates, June 2023.
I move.
Okay.
I'll second.
A first by Trustee Jankowicz, a second by Trustee Gonzalez Mares. Mr. Michaels, is there any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
All right. Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. K2, Human Resources. K2A, Local Assignment Options for Teacher Assignments.
So moved.
I second.
First by Trustee Hart, or nope, sorry, first by Trustee Gonzalez Mares, second by Trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay. Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. On to item 3, instructional services. Item 3A, supplementary instructional material adoption for elementary school.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, first by Trustee Hart, second by Trustee Gonzalez Mares. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. K3B, Student Data Privacy Agreement with Napa Valley Community College District.
So moved.
Second.
I mean, that was kind of a tie. Who wants the first? Okay, Trustee Gonzalez Mares with the first, Trustee Hart with the second. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. All right, K3C, CLASE agreement.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
First by Trustee Hart, second by Trustee Jankowicz. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
All right, Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Item 3, K3D, recycle of obsolete world language instruction material surplus.
So moved.
All right, I'm going to say first by Trustee Jankowicz, second by Trustee Gonzalez Mares. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. K4, School Planning and Construction. K4A, SPC 1.8-24, contract with CA plus SA Studios for architectural services for transitional kindergarten classroom maintenance project.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
First by Trustee Hart, second by Trustee Gonzalez Maris. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. K4B, SPC 1.9-24, contract with CA plus SA Studios for transitional kindergarten classrooms at Alta Heights ES.
So moved.
Second.
First by Trustee Gonzalez Maris, second by Trustee Hart. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
No public comment on this item.
Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. All right, K4C, SPC 1.10-24, contract with CA plus SA Studios, architectural services for shade structure project at Alta Heights and Northwood ES.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
First by Trustee Hart, second by Trustee Gonzalez Maris. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all those in, oh wait, Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. K4D, SPC number 18.3-24, contract with Miller Pacific.
So moved.
Second.
First by Trustee Gonzalez Maris, a second by Trustee Hart. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. K4E, SPC 13.1-24, purchase of TK furnishings.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
First by Trustee Hart, second by Trustee Gonzalez Maris. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you. Student Board Member McGrath?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Now on to informational items. We will start with item L1, which is general services, and then L1A, which is curriculum and student support committee. I believe that there was a meeting. Do we have any discussion or comments on this item? Okay. Mr. Michaels, is there any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you. Then we will move on. L1B, facilities and technology. The committee met, but the minutes will come at the next meeting. L1C, which is finance. There are minutes attached to this meeting. Is there any discussion of these minutes? Seeing none, Mr. Michaels, is there any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, and then we'll move on to L1D, which is the policy committee. They have not met. So we will move on to item L2, which is business services, L2A, which is the enrollment report. Is there any discussion on the enrollment report? All right, Mr. Michaels, is there any public comment on this item?
There is no public comment on this item.
All right. Then we'll move on to item M, additional suggestions and comments from board members and the superintendent.
Just a comment to the Walktober sounds like a fun activity that maybe some of us can participate. So maybe check on that if that's. If I just thought that would be fun. Our student board rep can join us. He can do all the running. We can log those, I hope. So I don't know, it just seems something we could do if that's something we can do as a board.
Sure, I don't know why we couldn't. I just wanted to add to my comment at the beginning. I forgot that I also had the opportunity to visit Napa High School and try this new, much talked about pizza. I think Mr. Ward had the best comment about the pizza in that it is much more like a pizzeria pizza and much less like a cafeteria pizza. So definitely an improvement. Any other comments? No? Okay.
Who's going to follow up pizza?
I think it's best not to.
In future agenda items. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item O, which is adjournment. I move that we adjourn.
Second.
First by myself, a second by Trustee Jankowicz. All those in favor? Aye. All right, the meeting is adjourned at 8:32. That might be a record.